I thought that would be the end of it, but Karen had other plans. One morning, I stepped outside to find large yellow patches on my once perfect lawn. Someone had poured a chemical, most likely bleach, across my grass. My security camera footage confirmed my worst fear. It was Karen herself. She had snuck into my yard at night and deliberately sabotaged my lawn. Fuming, I debated my options. Reporting her to the HOA? Pointless, since she practically ran it. Calling the police? Maybe. But I needed undeniable proof that would force action. Then I had an idea. A few months before, I had installed a new underground sprinkler system. What Karen didn't know was that, due to an old plumbing connection, our houses shared a secondary water line, including the irrigation system. With the evidence in hand, I took my revenge. I went to my storage shed, grabbed a few gallons of industrial-strength weed killer, completely HOA approved, of course, and added it to my irrigation system. When the sprinklers turned on the next morning, I watched with satisfaction as Karen's lawn absorbed the very chemicals she had used on mine. It didn't take long for Karen to notice her lawn turning yellow and dying. She threw a fit, blaming everyone but herself. She even filed a complaint against me, accusing me of property damage. Then, I presented the security footage of her sneaking onto my property with a bleach container. The HOA board had no choice but to reprimand her. The once untouchable Karen was fined, removed from her position, and faced legal action for trespassing and vandalism. Her lawn? Completely dead. The once pristine green yard she had boasted about was now a patchy wasteland. With Karen out of power, the HOA became a lot more reasonable. My lawn was restored, and the neighborhood finally got some peace. As for Karen, she eventually sold her house and moved away. No one missed her. With Karen gone, the HOA underwent some serious reforms. The new leadership was far more relaxed, focusing on maintaining the neighborhood without micromanaging homeowners. I even joined the board to ensure fairness. Karen's house sat empty for a few months before a new family moved in. I was wary at first, but to my relief, they were nothing like Karen. They introduced themselves warmly and even complimented my lawn. One day, I received an anonymous package on my doorstep. Inside was a note. "You got me good." But karma works both ways. There was no signature, but I had a feeling Karen wasn't quite done with me yet. Weeks later, I noticed a strange substance on my lawn, similar to what Karen had used. But this time, I was prepared. I set up extra security cameras, caught the culprit red-handed, and reported them. It turned out that one of Karen's old allies had tried to continue her grudge, but they were swiftly dealt with. Finally, peace returned to the neighborhood, and my lawn remained as green as ever. Living in a neighborhood with a homeowners association, HOA, can be both a blessing and a curse. When I first moved into my dream house, I imagined a peaceful suburban life with friendly neighbors, well-maintained parks, and an overall sense of community. What I didn't anticipate was Karen. Karen was the self-appointed queen of the HOA, a middle-aged woman with a permanent scowl and a clipboard that never left her side. She took her role far too seriously, issuing fines for the smallest infractions. A trash bin left out for an hour too long? Fine. A flower bed that didn't match the approved colors? Fine. And God forbid, if your grass grew an inch too tall, she'd be at your door with a warning letter before you even noticed it. My house had a large green lawn, something I took great pride in maintaining. I followed every HOA guideline to the letter, or so I thought. One day, I received an official warning. Your lawn is not in compliance with HOA standards. Please address the issue immediately. Confused, I looked at my yard. It was lush, green, and perfectly trimmed. What was wrong? I approached Karen to ask. She smirked and handed me a list of approved fertilizers and acceptable watering schedules. According to her, my lawn looked unnaturally green, and she suspected I was using non-HOA approved lawn care products. I assured her that everything I used was within the guidelines, but she wasn't convinced. She threatened to fine me if I didn't comply.